we met each other as fashion design lecturers and decided that we need to start a brand together because we have different skill sets. Natasha, for example, is very good with draping, and I'm good with flat pattern drafting. So we decided that we are going to collaborate and join and create a brand. The name ERRE, we had to decide very quickly on the name once the company, while we were busy registering the company. And we grabbed the old a thesaurus, basically, and saw ERRE, that you pronounce like a breath of fresh air. And we just love the simplicity of the word. In terms of branding, it's beautiful and it's simple and it's classic. So it stands for what our brand is for.
It's such a big honor to be selected as one of the only South African brand and one of 5 in Africa to be able to show in Paris. So it's such a big honor.
I think due to the fact that we were at home for how many months has it been now? Since since last year March. We didn't travel, we didn't go anywhere, we stayed at home like everybody in South Africa did. And in that came you could say almost like a calm and a peace, and we realized how beautiful everything is just around us right here in our own backyard. So all our inspiration stems from home. For example, beautiful flowers that grow in our garden, informs the color palette of the collection. We are quite obsessed with, it's going to sound very interesting, but with brooms, grass brooms specifically. I've got a whole collection here at the studio now, because it's something that symbolizes the beauty and humbleness and hardworking spirit of South Africans in general. So we found beauty in the simplicity of everyday life at home.
We really love to incorporate natural fibers and local natural fibers such as mohair. It's such a beautiful fiber. And I think that the world and South Africa also needs to still know about this absolute beauty. I think sometimes it gets a bad rep for the old sort of thoughts about mohair, being an old scratchy blanket. And mohair has come so far in the way that it's been processed, woven, knitted, and it's such a beautiful fiber. And we were inspired 2 years ago, in 2019, we did a trip to the Karoo that we really learned about the beauty of mohair, and we saw the whole process from the farm where the Angora goats roam to how the mohair is sold, auctioned off, processed, colored, dyed, the whole process up until when you really get your final fiber, and it's so beautiful. And since then we started learning techniques, how to use it, and for this season we've really used it in like a different way, something very different. So I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised, and we're excited to sort of see the end result that we're still busy with, and for people to get feedback from that.
When we start designing, we think of our clientele. We don't design for a specific muse or a specific figure or model. We design for curvy women with real bodies. And the moment we start designing it, all the style lines, the sleeves, everything is with our end consumer in mind and her lifestyle, what she needs. So the ERRE woman is not a celebrity, is not necessarily super fit and skinny. The ERRE woman is an average, everyday woman that needs to power dress and go about her daily life looking beautiful. And the clothing should fit her. She shouldn't try to fit into our clothing.
children?
Yes, okay, I'll answer that one. Okay, so our expectations are, I mean, we know what is expected when you show at Paris Fashion Week, the level of quality, and to be invited to showcase there is already such a huge compliment in terms of just the quality of manufacturing. So we know what to expect in terms of what we need to bring to the table. But in a larger context, we really want to represent the South African fashion industry in Paris. It's important for us. We expect to get more exposure for the South African fashion industry and the moire industry in general. Every time a South African designer shows abroad, it's a win for all the designers, not just internationally, but locally as well. Our consumers are still, because we sit with an aspiring consumer, our consumers are still in the mindset that foreign is better, or that a European brand is better quality than a South African brand. Although they do have the history, of course. I mean, you get brands like Balenciaga that's been around for quite a long time. And of course, we can't compete in terms of years, how long our brands have existed, but we can definitely compete in terms of design and quality. So we expect more exposure for the SA fashion industry in general.
The partnership has really been great from the beginning. And as Carina mentioned earlier, the reason we started the brand was because we realized that we had differing skills that complemented each other. And I think that as much as we think we can handle everything, running a business and being an entrepreneur has so many facets to it. And being alone in it, we often say that we can't imagine how one person does this, because there's so many facets, there's so many things you need to do, starting a business, running a business, and sometimes you're a little bit unsure of your ideas. And for us, it's really good to sort of just bounce ideas off and talk about it, and really just sharing ideas, and that way your idea sort of becomes stronger. And so we've always worked well together, because we have sort of differing styles of working and thinking, and I think, more heads together gives better results.
I would also like to add, you said entrepreneurship during the pandemic. When you mentioned that, I think something we did right was the fact that when the first lockdown came, before the lockdown came even, we started contacting some of our designer friends, other brands that are geographically close to us and that we are friends with. So we collaborated with Isabel de Villiers and the BAM Collective on making masks and PPE for a medical clothing company. Because we realized, listen, for a month long, or maybe longer even, we're not going to be able to sell any clothing. And instead of thinking we're going to take a 21-day holiday, we decided, let's collaborate with other designers and let's do something. And we got training from ECG Clinical Wear. And so for entrepreneur during pandemic times, it's very important to not panic and just make a plan and think in small steps ahead of time, and don't be scared to ask for help, and collaborate with other businesses in your same sector. But working together does make us stronger. And I mean, we wouldn't have earned any income for a month or two if it wasn't for the fact that we made all the scrubs and masks and things for the medical clothing company. So collaborating is of the utmost importance to survive as an entrepreneur.